Tell me like a nice story or interaction you had with a Japanese person.
She tells it like it is.
She offered me snacks, which is always a positive in my book.
That's so lovely. Some people be like,
Thank you, elder gentleman in the yakitori bar. That's a really nice story. What do you think about Japanese people? We have come to MCM London Comic Con today to ask the people from all around the world who are here what they think about Japanese people. So let's go and ask. Do you have any Japanese friends or any nice interactions with Japanese people you remember in all of your life?
literally a lot today. I've had so many lovely, lovely Japanese people come up, and they were so lovely to me. They're like, "Do you mind if I take a photo?" I'd be like, "No," and they were so thankful for it. I was just like, well, it was such a sweet reaction compared to sometimes people take photos without asking as well. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, do you know what I mean? But they were so lovely and they were so respectful. So definitely, I'd say today as well.
So Japanese people always generally tend to ask before they take a photo.
Yes, and they were like I was taking a 5-minute break outside, and I'm having some lunch, and one of the girls came up to approach me. She's like, "Do you mind if I take a photo?" I was like, "I'm actually eating at the moment. Can you give me like 20 minutes?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. No, you're okay. And I was just like, "That's so lovely." Some people would be like, you know what I mean? So it was just so nice that she respected the fact that I was taking a break. So
Japanese people tend to be a little bit more respectful when taking pictures?
Yes, 100%. Yes, I think compared to some other people that tend to be a lot more ruder and more abrupt with it. So it was just kind of refreshing.
There was one particular day that was really hot, and I'd actually sprained my ankle after running through Nara Deer Park for a little while, and my friends were taking it in turns carrying me, and I kept passing out on their back because of the heat, and these lovely Japanese ladies followed me down the street, and they were concerned, so they kept checking to see if I was okay, and we were like, it's fine, don't worry, it's just a bit hot, I'm in pain. And then next thing you know, we kind of turned around and they ran over and brought a bottle of water for me, and they'd run to the vending machine and just try and help calm me down, and that was really lovely.
Any kind of nice interaction you had with Japanese people?
I went to Japan to sneak from my parents because I failed my exam, and I went to this little bar. I believe it was in Tokyo. I ordered something. I wasn't talking at all. I looked obviously depressed, and then the owner, the chef, he started asking, "Oh, hey, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, nothing big deal. It's just an exam." And then he said, "Oh, it's exams, right? I know they are hard. Which area?" And we start talking. And I never thought I would actually share so much of my personal life to an individual that I haven't met before. But somehow a beer and yakitori, we just start talking. And after that talks, the second day, I'm a new life again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gave you lots of energy again.
Exactly, and he's really old. He's probably around 60s, 70s. So he actually gave me a lot of advice how to face those kind of traumas. And one sentence I remember from him is what beat you can make you strong, because you can learn from the failures. And I think that's what got me in my uni today. Yeah.
Oh wow! Thank you, elder gentleman in the yakitori bar. That's a really nice story. Have you had a good interaction with a Japanese person?
Yeah, there was an exchange student at my school who was Japanese. She was very cool, very sweet, very intelligent.
Very intelligent, how so?
She's very quick at learning things. First time in, not even an English-speaking country, it was in Denmark, and she picked up the language in half a year. I could not do that if I went somewhere else. But yeah, it's just cool, very cool person.
We were heading all the way up for Shuminari Shrine, and it's a lot of steps. Yeah. It's a lot of steps, and I kept getting 100 steps up, and then I'd nearly pass out or faint, and we were near the top, and I could feel myself about to go, and there was this little tourist shop there with a cafe, but only customers could sort of sit down and take a break, but I sat down anyway because I was about to pass out, and then as soon as the man running the shop realized that I was having a moment, he'd run over with a paper fan and was fanning me off, and I was completely safe the entire time. It was just really nice to have those interactions.
I think just everyone I met there was just really lovely. No one really was outwardly rude. But I think that goes for a lot of countries, not just Japan. And yeah, I think the people I talk to, for example, I stayed at a hotel, and a lot of people there, the receptionists and things like that, they were just nice, and if you need help, they'll just be oh, this way, or at a train station, if you know where you're going, they're people just said, "Oh, you lost, it's this way, that you go that way out." And it was just yeah, people were just polite there.
When I say Japanese people, because you travel a lot, maybe any kind of story and kind of impression you have on Japanese people?
I was in Portugal and Albufeira with a family friend. I speak a bit of Portuguese. He speaks none. He drove us down the wrong highway. So as opposed to going to Seville, we ended up in Porto. And when we got there, our signal on our phone was dead, so we didn't have any way to find out where we were. And a Japanese woman approached me just because I clearly look like I am obviously not from Portugal, and she sort of was complimenting on my outfit. She was complimenting my eyes, and then I asked her a question, which is, do you know how we get back to Albufeira? She was very, very helpful. She gave us directions. She offered me snacks, which is always a positive in my book. So yeah, that was my sort of first interaction. But yeah, it was just really nice to find somebody who wasn't from the country but knew the terrain, and she was able to sort of help me and my friends.
So a Japanese lady helped you out in Portugal.
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you, random stranger lady.
Another one, which is probably my favorite. We went to Nico for an evening, and we booked a place on like Airbnb or something like that, but the address pin did not match the location of where we were staying. So we were completely lost, and there were only really like local Japanese people around that could speak a lick of English, and we only spoke very small amounts of Japanese. So we had Google Translate up and we were trying to communicate, and this like nice mother actually just loaded us all into her car and like dropped us off at the place she thought it was going to be, and she drove like 10 minutes downtown with us all in the car. We were complete strangers, but we found where we were meant to go, and we were just really thankful, and that was really brave of her to do that with a bunch of strangers, and it was just really nice.
Would that happen in the UK?
No, probably not. And we probably wouldn't have got into her car in the UK either, but but in Japan it all just felt really nice. So there's some of my favorite interactions for sure.
Have you met any Japanese people in your life or had a good interaction with a Japanese person?
Yeah, actually my best friend growing up was half black, half Japanese, so I've always been real close to it, you know.
Have you ever experienced anything of his culture? Has he introduced you to any of his food or anything?
Yeah, a little bit here and there. His mom's named Yuko, and she's straight from Japan. I forget where. I want to say Okinawa for some reason, but that's probably wrong. But yeah, I used to go like every year, and I couldn't find a time to go with him. I regret it to this day, but yeah.
So maybe in the future you want to go with him?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Have you had any nice interaction with Japanese people?
Yeah, for sure. There's 2 photographers from Japan that I met here at MCM, and I work with them each time I go here now. And they're sweethearts. They're very professional, and it's a very different style of photography that I don't get to do back at home. So it's a good time. And
how is it different?
Oh, it's more focused on like scenic elements of the costumes. Like it's more about, not per se about capturing your face, it's about capturing a whole mood, which I love.
Japanese photographers take slightly different pictures from the other photographers here?
Yeah, everyone has their own style, but there's definitely styles between countries. Like even English and Dutch is very different.
Any nice interactions you had with Japanese people?
I think the first one that sprang to mind was on my first trip where I was on my own. A bunch of nice old Japanese ladies asked me to take their picture at one of the attractions. And they saw that I was on my own, so afterwards they absolutely insisted. They wouldn't let me leave until they'd taken my picture in the same spot. And they were like, you know, so pleased with the picture. They were bowing and everything. That was really lovely.
Oh, how did that make you feel?
It was just quite nice. It was thoughtful that they'd noticed I was on my own and offered to take my picture, because I'd just been doing selfies the whole time. So yeah, it was very pleasant.
Any nice interaction you had with Japanese people in your life?
Oh, his friend's mom. I met his friend's mom. Yeah.
All right. So what is the mother of his bestie? What is she like? What is your impression of her?
She tells it like it is. Yeah. She's really great. She's hilarious. Overall, her personality is just like really great. She just tells you like the truth, and that's it.
Oh, so she's not holding back, not being shy. She tells you how it is. What does that mean? Is there like a story you have there?
He might know some stories. I have no idea. She just is very straightforward. So anything she thinks, she's going to say.
I have too many to list, but I remember we snuck out like one night to play like basketball. We were out way too late, and his mom and his dad caught us. And I remember his mom was absolutely livid. She was going off the walls, like worse than her family. Yeah, it was bad.
She's very angry about your late night basketball playing.
Yep, exactly. She was just livid that we were even out there, and she definitely busted his butt, that's for sure.
a lot of places in the UK can be quite judgmental, and I'm from like a small town initially, and I had like dyed purple hair, and people kind of go like, what are you doing here? And it's why I enjoy London so much, because there's so much diversity, and I found a lot of that in Japan, and they're just used to seeing it, and everyone was really kind and helpful. And personally, I've got a fainting condition, so sometimes I collapse on the floor, and no, I'm all good. But like, especially out there, the Japanese people were always really like just quick to help out, and they were really friendly, and I didn't find that I struggled with the language barrier too much. I only speak like a tiny little bit of Japanese, but everyone would just go out of their way to help, and it was just really nice having that community atmosphere out there. So
culturally, that Japanese people are probably one of the nicest and respectful people around, other than the Irish. I had to throw that.
Because we're Irish. It's gonna throw his shamrocks in there.
I gotta throw that in.
I wouldn't put the Irish up there, but all right.
We can be.
From like what you've seen in media and on TV, is there anything you've picked up a little bit how the media has represented Japanese people?
Definitely working hard for a living. So I think that's actually, it's kind of inspirational at the same time, that like they put a lot of effort into learning, studying, and being the best that they can be. So that's what I take away from that. Yeah.
Would you love to make a Japanese friend?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, when you go to Japan, I'm sure you will.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Sushi, samurai, geisha. Those used to be the cliche words that people would say when they thought about Japan. And it has changed a little bit thanks to pop culture, but also people researching, finding their own hobbies, and maybe watching a little bit of anime. That was good to find out, but there is actually a lot more that foreigners think about Japan and Japanese culture, and that comes into their head, and it's actually in this video right here. So go check it out, and I'll catch you soon on Ash Japanese.